In downtown Chicago, billionaire Ethan Miles was a man known for his precision and composure. He had everything: wealth, respect, and a powerful name in the world of real estate. Yet beneath the polished exterior lived a man haunted by the past. 10 years ago, his marriage to Claire had ended in heartbreak after they lost their child. Since then, Ethan had buried himself in work, convincing the world and himself that emotions were a distraction. One chilly December afternoon, he walked into a high-end tech store to discuss a potential corporate deal. The air smelled of new electronics and freshly brewed coffee, but as he glanced toward the counter, his steps halted. A young saleswoman stood there, smiling politely, her voice calm and melodic. Ethan's heart stopped. She looked exactly like Claire, same hazel eyes, same soft smile, even the small dimple on her left cheek. For a moment, it felt as if time had turned back. He blinked, trying to steady himself, thinking it must be his imagination. But when she looked directly at him and said, "Good afternoon, sir. How may I help you?" and his chest tightened. It wasn't just resemblance, it was her essence, her warmth, her presence. Ethan couldn't lose. Her name tag read Lila Anderson, and Ethan forced himself to return her polite smile, though his mind raced. "I'm here about the smart home systems," he said, trying to sound composed. Lila led him through the sleek showroom, explaining features, prices, and installation options with professionalism. But every gesture, every inflection in her voice felt uncannily familiar. It was Claire's charm, her confidence, her effortless way of making people feel at ease. Ethan fought to keep his emotions in check, yet old memories began to resurface. Dinners at home, long walks through Lincoln Park, quiet mornings filled with laughter. He found himself asking casual questions about her life, her past, the city she had moved from, and Lila answered with friendly openness. When she mentioned recently moving from Boston, Ethan's curiosity deepened. The coincidence was too striking to ignore. He wondered if this was fate, a strange twist, or something more deliberate. As their conversation drew to a close, Ethan, acting on impulse, handed her his card. "If you ever consider corporate sales or anything like that, give me a call," he said, his voice steadier than he felt. Lila smiled warmly, tucking the card into her apron. "I'll think about it," she said, completely unaware of the storm of emotions she had just stirred in him. Kick away. That evening, Ethan sat alone in his penthouse, the city lights of Chicago glittering below. He poured himself a drink but couldn't lift it to his lips. Lila's face haunted him, every detail. The way she smiled, the tilt of her head, even the way she laughed, was a reflection of Claire. He had thought he had buried those memories years ago, but now they surged back, unbidden and powerful. Restless, he called his private assistant and asked for a discreet background check on Lila Anderson. Within hours, the report arrived. Ethan's hands trembled as he read the details. Lila Anderson was not who she seemed. Her real name, it turned out, was Claire Thompson Miles. She had legally changed it 4 years ago. Shock, disbelief, and a surge of old longing collided in him. Why had she hidden? Why had she left without a word, only to appear years later under a new identity? He felt a mixture of anger and relief, longing and fear. The next morning, unable to wait, he returned to the tech store. The moment she saw him, her expression froze. Their eyes met, and the years of silence hung between them like an unspoken truth. Ethan's voice, shaky but resolute, broke the tension. Claire's eyes glistened with unshed tears as she stepped aside, guiding Ethan out of the store and into the cold Chicago air. The city buzzed around them, but for a moment it felt like they were alone in a bubble of past regrets and unspoken words. "Ethan," she whispered, her voice trembling, "after we lost the baby, I couldn't face you. I felt invisible while you buried yourself in work. I needed to disappear, to find myself again." Her confession pierced him, each word echoing the pain he had carried for a decade. Ethan's throat tightened as he struggled to contain the surge of emotion. "You didn't have to vanish," he said softly. "I spent years searching, wondering what I had done wrong." Claire lowered her gaze, shame and sorrow evident. "I thought you had moved on. I thought I had no place in your life anymore." Silence stretched between them, heavy but necessary, until Ethan reached for her hand, the familiar warmth grounding him. "I never moved on," he admitted. Slowly, a faint smile appeared on Claire's lips. She explained her desire for a simple life, far from public attention. Ethan offered her a chance to start anew, not as a millionaire or a runaway, but as two hearts reconnecting. "Maybe it's time," she whispered, and for the first time in years, Ethan felt a hope money could never buy. "Why?"